All right, live from Maison Tavernier, the official Dean's residence here in Fontainebleau. I'm happy to bring you an INSEAD first GLS from Maison Tavernier. Again, one of the things I love about being Deputy Dean is able to welcome business leaders to our campus here in Fontainebleau. For the last 6 months, we've had many Zoom speakers, but we've been unable to welcome anyone to campus. And now that dry spell is broken in a big way, as we have the great pleasure to welcome Ouided Bouchamaoui to INSEAD for her first visit. And she'll talk, as you see here, about some really important themes around dialogue, peace, and inclusion. So again, I could go on and on to introduce you, Ouided, but let me just say a few words. So from 2011 to 2018, she headed up the Tunisian Confederation of Industry to 2018. In 2013, you were recognized as the best businesswoman of the year in the Arab world. And then increasing like business leaders are today, you stepped forward to really serve your society after the Arab Spring, pulling together not only the Confederation of Industries, but several other key groups in Tunisia to launch a dialogue around what was going on. By 2015, you were up for the Nobel Peace Prize, your group, up against the Pope, against Merkel. And again, you guys were recognized, and we'll be interested to hear what that's brought to you and your country. And then again, she remains a player on the world stage, including here in France. I think she's President Macron has her as the president of his steering committee on the Summit of the Two Shores and a member of the Consultative Council here in France on gender equality. So we're really looking forward to hearing from you. So we have INSEAD students and also alumni listening in. A few opening words to our community.
Thank you so much, Peter. I'm so happy. I'm so honored to be here with you and in front of students. Really, it's not so easy to speak about dialogue, but I think it's something new what we have to learn about it. If we'd like to have more peaceful way, more peaceful life, we need to dialogue. We need to implement a new dialogue between people, between citizens, and between, our government, between others, because, we don't know each other well. So there are many problems. For me, it's very important to accept our differences, to listen to others, and to accept other people, other religions, other, ethnic people, because, when we started in Tunisia, the dialogue, we started with a social dialogue, and we started with, I started with the union, and the problem always with the Business Confederation and the union was always, they are like fighting each other, and for me, it was really something new, how I can have a new relation with the union. And I said, okay, I have to go first. And I have to say to them, I'm ready to speak with you. I'm ready to listen to you. I'm ready to dialogue with you. And it was, the first step of our national dialogue. That was, something that I am really very, what I like so much, because I did something which is unusual in Tunisia and even outside Tunisia. And that's why I said the dialogue is the only way to change our world today.
And talk a little bit about, well, what were some of the win-wins with the unions you were trying to get? And also, you then broadened the dialogue. You brought even more parties in. So at that, remind people a little bit of the situation in Tunisia and what you were trying to do by bringing these groups together with a real dialogue.
Yes. I started the social dialogue with the union in 2012, when the situation was really a conflict way with the union. And because we met always just for negotiation or when we have some conflicts in some companies. And I said, why we have to think about, well, we don't think about a new way. And really when I called the General Secretary of the union and I invite him to come to our office, he was surprised because it was the first time that the board of the union, they came to our office. And I said to them, I'd like to rebuild a new way new relation. And really, they accepted it because I said, I'm honest with you. I'd like to deal with all the problems together, and don't need to have to go to the government or to the prime minister just to resolve problems. We are able to resolve all the conflicts because, you know, for me, could not have, I mean, a company without workers, and there is no company if they don't have, I mean, the chief or the businessman. That is, it was, I mean, in 2012. And when we got in 2013, 2 political assassinations. It was the first time in Tunisia, in February and in July. It was the first time in Tunisia that we got 2 political assassinations. We were, I mean,
shocked
as Tunisian, and we were afraid that we lose our democracy, our revolution. That's at this time, and in July 25th, I was in front of the hospital and I saw many thousands of Tunisians, men, women, young, I mean, children there, and all of us were shocked and we were really in a bad situation. And at this time, I took my phone and I called General Secretary of the UN. I said to him, we need to find and to do something for our country. Our country needs us, and we need to be, I mean, like, I mean, not, I mean, the heroes, but let's say, the leaders of something. And we met together in the office of the Union on July 25th and the president of the Tunisian Bar and the president of the Tunisian Human Rights Association, they joined us there. And at this moment, we decided to write, I mean, the roadmap. Like it's like communique and roadmap.
To get out of the crisis.
Yes. And in this one, we said the government should leave this, I mean, and we have to change this government because people, at this moment, they thought that the government was responsible of those 2 assassinations. And we need to finish, I mean, the constitution and this. And the third point is to have this election committee to control the elections, and also to have, I mean, they have to finish the constitution in 1 year. So, and we signed it, I mean, this roadmap. And this roadmap was as like the Bible for others. I mean, it's like the Quran for others. We say to them, we have to follow this. And why we were able to do this, because people, they trust on us, as we are from the civil society, and we don't have this, I mean, background, political background. We are there just to find solution to this situation, and just not to have the same situation like Libya or Syria or other countries.
Yeah. Well, what strikes me is you really used the fact that you built the trust beforehand, and that's what gave you options in this crisis to actually pull civil society together and not be divided. So then this work, this impact, gets recognized with the Nobel Prize. What has that meant for the dialogue, also for you personally? How has that sort of expanded your platform for having action? Is it a big deal to get a Nobel Prize?
Of course, yes. I think it's the most important prize in the world. And to be there in Oslo, in this city hall, and in front of, I mean, the King of Norway, and in front of, I mean, millions of people. I mean, it's, for me, it's something which cannot forget it, I mean, easily. It's the best thing in my life, maybe, I mean, one of the best things, because the best thing for me is to be a mom and to have 2 children. I have to.
But after that, it's the Nobel Prize.
Yes, after that, yes. Because for me, to be a mother, it's the first, I mean, best thing in my life. And the second thing is to be, I mean, a winner.
But, you know, being a mother or a parent is a responsibility.
Yes.
Having a Nobel Prize, has it been a responsibility for you?
Yeah, of course, yes. Because I have to travel a lot and to speak a lot, and I have this responsibility to represent my country, to represent women, Tunisian and Arab women, because, you know, for others, they think that Arab women are always behind men, and they are not able to travel, they are not able to speak. I mean, for me, it's very important to speak on my name, under the name of all the Arab women, and to say, yes, we are free, yes, we can do this. And yes, we as Arab country, we could be a democratic country. It's very important for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So maybe share a little bit about what you're working on today and some of these themes around peace and its role in diversity and social inclusion, especially I think both gender, but just broader social inclusion seems to have really become a prominent issue for global society today.
Yes, it's very important. I mean, for me, as a woman, I think we women, it's not fair that we are not represented everywhere as men. We represent 50% of the population everywhere, but you could not find women in different positions. And I think it's very important now to work on this and to deal with this main problem is how to have this gender equality everywhere. Because, I mean, you don't have to look to women here in France or United States, but in some African countries, women are, or some Arab countries, women are, I mean, always, they don't have, I mean, the primary rights.
Yes.
Just even to drive a car, to open a bank account, to divorce, to choose their husband. And this is very important. And we could not ask for peace if we don't have this parity. If, I mean, the half of population is out of the record. For what is important is to have this peace. We need to dialogue and we need to respect the human rights. Not the, I mean, it's, even in French, they don't say les droits de l'homme, they say human rights, just to say that we are human, I mean, men and women.
Yes. How do you, so when you think about having an impact on this, how in the Arab world, say, do you try to move this agenda forward? It's a big challenge, even with a Nobel Prize.
Yes, I know, it's a big challenge for Tunisia, it's quite different. For women in Tunisia, it's quite different because we have a really very particular personal status in Tunisia. But in the Arab world, it's quite different because, when I'm invited by women in some Arab countries, they are always, I mean, fascinated by us, but how we are free, how we can.
In Tunisia.
Yes. But for the others, no, because we have, I mean, the code since 56. And so Tunisian women can divorce, can travel, can elect, can be, I mean, we have all the rights.
Yes.
But I mean, it was a will of one political person, our former President Bourguiba. I think what we do need now, we do need in the Arab countries, the will of politicians and also the role of the civil society. The civil society should play a big role, I mean, to push for this changement and to push to have those rights for women.
Interesting. So again, so part of what you do, because again, there's often a perception, everyone thinks the Arab world is all the same. And there's a huge difference between the status of women, say in Tunisia and Saudi Arabia. And so part of you're trying to educate people about what actually is happening in Tunisia. Do you follow what's going on in Saudi Arabia? And
yes.
What's your view of that? Because I mean, you hear, I hear big changes.
I think
finally.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time to start this because, they have a very wonderful women there, very educated women. I know many of them there, and I think they do need to be more fair. Yes, very powerful women. But they always, as I said, behind men. So now it's time that they will be in front and they will face all this and to be, I mean, more responsible. I think they start well, and I hope they will continue like this.
Let me just, before we open up for questions, so Vikram will open up shortly, but maybe one more for now. Obviously the world is living through a very particular moment around COVID, and it's clearly stirring up challenges around inclusion, also a differential impact on genders. How do you what are the things that concern you in the current situation? Do you see opportunities there for your work?
Yeah, you know, for all of us, I mean, it's something not easy to accept. I mean, to live different. I mean, we need to wear the mask. We cannot, I mean, touch others. Particularly for us as Mediterranean, we are always speaking with our hands. We are touching people, and we'd like to be more near people.
Yeah.
And for us, it's something different, and it's not easy to accept this. But you know, if we have to think about health, we need to respect. And it's very important to respect this because our health depends on it. And now, you know, there are so many opportunities if we speak about opportunities about young people, about ITs, about innovation, about a new way of life, about services. Yes, we are discovering something, I mean, easily. Life is easier now. With using the internet, you can call and you can have everything at home. They can deliver everything at home, even for different services. But the problem is, for example, for us as a country, Tunisia, we used to receive many millions of tourists.
Yes, tough.
The problem now is when the borders are closed. It's a really dramatic, I mean, situation because you know we have, I mean, people, I mean, more than 1 million people that they live is from this touristic sector. And also, the situation in other countries and for the exportation, I mean, the real impact of this COVID will be very important, particularly for poor and medium countries. But in other way, it will show us that life is really, let's say, we have to take care about ourselves. We have to take care about vulnerable people. We have to take care about old people. Now we are thinking about them.
Yeah.
Because before people, they don't think about them. Now the situation is different. If you have something old, I mean, your mom or your father in the house will be more, I mean, will take care better than before because you are afraid that he will have this COVID. And this is, I mean, another way how we see others. I mean, this COVID, I mean, changes our way of thinking, our way of life. But I think if they don't find, I mean, researchers and they don't find the vaccine, it will be a disaster for us. Because we cannot have, I mean, we cannot close, I mean, second time our borders. We cannot leave ourselves. We need to be to live in an open environment.
Have you traveled much in the last few months?
No. 2 or 3 times, I think. I try to reduce because each time you have to be, I mean, to use to do the test, and it's really and the airport and all this bureaucracy.
What motivated you to come to France for the week?
Because I'm director of executive master in IGP, and to open this master class, I need to be there. So.
That's good.
I said yes, and I can.
Education and also an important part of change.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
If you're okay, hey Vikram, why don't you share some of the questions that the students have given you before or even during the dialogue?
Absolutely. So the first question we have is, how did win-win negotiation help you build coalitions with diverse groups?
So yeah, one of the key things we study in business schools is often how to negotiate well and get to win-win. How have you seen that in your experience?
You know, I learned the negotiation with the union because, you know, when I was elected for the first time, someone, he advised me just to listen before, not to speak. And I need to be trained to listen to people. And after, I have to take notes, and after I can ask questions. And it's very important. To win-win is, I mean, for a good negotiation, particularly with the union, you have to be strong. And they have to feel that you are a strong person. And they can, I mean, ask everything, and you don't hesitate. Because if they feel that you can hesitate, they will be, I mean, different. And other thing is, for me, is particularly important is to be honest. because, you know, to deal with them, I'm from the business community. I'm not used to speak with them. But when they trust on you and when they feel that you are honest, they will, they will continue the dialogue. And this is a win-win. And we are equal. There is no one winner and one loser. We are both in the same place. And this is what helped me, to continue this dialogue and to continue the national dialogue, because people, they trust on me, and really I have a very strong personality, and I cannot accept, if I'm something which is not wrong with me, I can take my stuff and I leave it alone.
Okay.
Yes, I did it.
Okay, hopefully,
I did it with.
hopefully it doesn't happen
not
here.
here. No, not here. I did it in the national dialogue with when was, some president of parties. Yeah. Because
sometimes you have to see limits.
Yes. That's it. Yeah. It's very important. Yes.
Very good. Okay, Vikram, good question. How about another one?
Yes. The next question is, you've spoken about breaking ground as a premier Muslim Arab woman leader. What qualities do you believe are important for the next generation of women leaders to have?
Yeah, so when you think about the next generation of women leaders in the Arab world or beyond, what challenges do they face? What qualities do they need?
They need to be themselves, to think that they are able to be, as a leader. Because if we don't trust on ourselves, we cannot be a leader. It's very important. And also to be able to learn and to listen to others and to accept the differences, to accept others. And I think now for the new generation, we have more and more Muslim leaders, but they are not, in the front page because maybe they are a little bit, not courageous. They're not courageous to show that they are able. But I think what is very important is to push the government to change the reality. If they will stay, at home, they could not remark the change, because the changement will be done with us, with women.
Tell me what's at stake. So when you diversify leadership, whether it's of a company or government or any part of society, why for you is it important to have that inclusion of
we cannot leave. You cannot deal with 50% of the population. We are here, we are present, and we are able to lead, and we are able to do many things. You are man, I am woman, but we are. The difference is the way that you are behave, the way that you are deal with something. This is the difference.
Yeah. So it's partly just you're doing without half the talent in your country if you didn't include, and
no, we have, maybe for me as Tunisia, I have this background, I have this status, and I have the legal frame that encourage women to go to school till, the school is compulsory till 16 years old. We have all the rights, and this encourage us to go on and to be. Yes, we need this legal frame. We need the will of politics, of course, and also we need the will of women, and of course men. They have to help us, because together we can change the world. Together we can push women to be in the front and to be present everywhere. It's very important. It's something that we can share together. If we'll be selfish and we'll say, okay, no, I'm okay, I don't take care about you, we cannot succeed. But if we are together, we can go together to this point, and we can achieve what we want to do, and we can succeed on this. It's very important for me to be together, and this is what I learned from dialogue. What I learned from this, the way to speak and to listen to others and to discuss with others. Yeah.
Very good. Vikram, another topic.
So INSEAD has studied family businesses extensively. You come from a strong family business background as well. How has the legacy of your family in Tunisia shaped your development as a leader?
Perhaps so he's asking, so obviously
Sorry,
we do quite a bit with family business.
yes.
And so we just curious, well, maybe you could say a little bit about the family background and how that influenced your development as a leader, I think is what he's asking
that's
about.
what I understand.
But perhaps, I'm not
Yeah.
sure everyone will understand the family and the business you come from.
Yeah, I have the chance to grow up on family business. My father was, my protector. I learned a lot of him. He trusted on me, and he gave me everything to be like I'm now. And he teach me. I learned a lot of him because he's a honest man, and he's a self-made man. But yes, and we continued, me and my brothers and sister, in this way. Our business, the development of our business, family business, and what we are doing now is the same way, the same thinking way of my father, because we learned the basic how we can have this company to think about earning money, of course, but to be more social, to think about others. We are helping others. We have a foundation on the name of my father, and we are doing a lot of social things, particularly in education and health, because for us, it's very important to listen to others and to look, for others. And of course, when my father had a very strong personality.
I imagine.
Yes, and he always said to me and to my sisters, you are in the same position like your brothers. You need to be, comfortable. You need to trust on yourself. You need to work harder, and you need to say what you have in your mind, not to be not to be shy, and to speak and to ask questions if you don't understand something. And I think it is very important to push someone to be leaders. And
Great.
Yeah. For me, it's what I'm trying to teach my two sons is how to be, as strong as I was. With my father. Yes.
Perhaps tell me, as you said, so one of the values you got from your father was giving back.
Yes.
And you created the foundation in his name, health. And maybe tell a little bit about how you approach having an impact through education in Tunisia and more generally. But curious how you try and leverage education for change.
For me, the education is very important. Without education, we cannot, wait for a very, open society.
Yeah.
And education should be compulsory for men, for girls and boys. It's very important because through schools, through education, we can, shape the personality of people. And without education, we can be, aggressive. We can be, someone different. And it's very important to focus on this. But now we have to, this education should follow what is happening everywhere. Now it's different. We need to use, the internet, the video conferences, and to follow, update what is happening everywhere. And one of important pillar of the society is education. So if with the education we'll have an open mind, we'll accept something different, and we'll be open to learn from others, from other civilization, from other situation, and it's very important. And what is in Tunisia, I always say that if Tunisia is like, and what is not in Tunisia now is because we have three very, very important pillars. First is the civil society. Second, the women in Tunisia, and the third is the education of people. I think the education is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the way the economy is going.
Of course, yes. Because we have to follow. If now, for example, we used to produce something in one way, now we have to change. Otherwise, we'll disappear completely. That's why we have to think and to follow what is happening everywhere, and to be also ready to be different. To change our way. Our way. Yeah.
Very good. Great questions, Vikram. One or two more, perhaps?
Absolutely. So you've seen varied crises in the Jasmine Revolution, Arab Spring, and now COVID. How do you adapt your leadership approach for crisis times?
The relation with this, I mean, for what is happened, I don't, for the Arab Spring, I think for me, the only country that succeed on this is Tunisia.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to say this. I'm not modest person, but really what is happened in other places,
not so good.
it's not so good.
Mm.
So, you know, if we have this situation, the political situation, and we add this pandemic, the situation is so bad. So, I don't know what are the solutions, but I think we need to change all the old system everywhere, because I mean, let's say even for our transition, or for our, let's say, I'm going to speak about Tunisians better, to succeed on this our democratic transition, we need to have, I mean, a better economic staff. If we don't have this economic environment, if we have, we'll have, I mean, more unemployment people, and if we will have many problems, economic problems, we cannot preserve our democratic transition. So for me, we need to have this democracy, but we need also to think about our economy and to find solution. Yes, the COVID is here, but what are the solutions?
How is Tunisian society holding together? I mean, the pandemic, I guess, is a huge pressure and economic disruption. Certainly, how is the dialogue going?
What we did, I mean, in the beginning, it was good in Tunisia, because the first in March till, let's say, June, everything was okay and under control. And our government did really very, very well, because people, they respected everything. But after, when they opened all the borders, after, I mean, we need to open June, July.
For tourists, for the economy,
for people
and
for
unfortunately for COVID as well.
It was not, let's say, it's better than other countries, let's say.
Yeah,
but it's not so good for our economy. And what they remark that we need, I mean, for our hospitals, they need to be more equipment. And I mean, so that we at this moment we observe it so many lacks. I mean, in different ways in our in the hospitals, in the way how to deal with people, because for us we focus all our efforts in education, and we forget a little bit, I mean, the health.
The health, yes.
I mean, particularly in some rural parties in the rural regions in the country, so they do need more effort. Yes, but till now, I think what is done in Tunisia is not bad at all. Not bad at all.
But just
compared to others.
No, but it's just hard to sustain.
Yes.
The behavior. And again, this balance of economy and health gets very hard for, I think, for most governments.
Yes, but people, they need also to follow all the instruction, because it depends on them. I mean, the behavior of people, because otherwise, I mean, even if you don't follow all the instruction, I mean, the disaster will be bigger.
That's what we keep telling everyone at INSEAD as well. Everyone, I think all leaders have this issue of how, you know, you almost feel like you're a nagging parent constantly telling people,
we have to accept this.
It's important.
If we don't like, we have to accept this.
Even
if we don't accept to wear the mask, we have to accept it, because if we think about our future, we'll say, okay, we have to wear this for 2 or 3 months, and after it will be okay. Otherwise, it will be a big disaster for all of us.
Okay, Vikram, maybe one more question from the audience, if you want.
Sure. So Eva Inflow asks, how do we initialize the dialogue as women in business? Please give examples. I think she is asking for more examples specifically about inclusion dialogue by women.
How I initialize
So I think, so the question is about, so really more interest in how you advance this cause of female inclusion, more specifics of things you do to further that.
For the female inclusion or for
Yeah.
dialogue? Because for me, the national dialogue, it was about, situation in Tunisia, not about female inclusion.
Right. So,
But I represented women because I was the only woman in this quartet.
yes.
So I have to think about the business community, about women, and it's not so easy. But what I did is how this inclusion is to say that we are able to deal with this dialogue and to find solution for our country. And people, they were, even for all the interview or for all the contacts, people, they asked me first, because for them, they think when there is a woman that represents all Tunisian women is very important for them. And I think some examples is when people, they asked, to have a prime chief of government women, the majority, they asked me to accept to be chief of government.
Yes.
Even in the dialogue, because for them, they said Tunisia will be the first, country in the Arab world to have a woman in this kind of position. I refused for the simple reason because I was, involved in this dialogue. And after when Beji Qaid Sibsi was, elected as president, he asked me to accept this position to be a chief of government. I asked him one question. I said, "I'm going to be the boss or not?" He said, "No, you have to have this consensus with other parts." I said, "No, I cannot accept it, because for me to be, a chief of government, I have to be free to choose my team. I have to be free to deal with my strategy, but as parliament, or you have to control me, not to be, to ask me to do something, but I'm not convinced to do it." And so this position, people, they accepted my way to say no, not because it's not always, happened to someone who has proposed such position to say not because I'm not modest or I don't like to be like this. Of course, I'd like to be in this position, but I like also to be free woman and to be free leader. And so people say that, okay, for us, you represent this category of women that, strong women, and some people, they always say you are like Thatcher. She is a strong woman, and we'd like to have a Tunisian Thatcher there in Tunisia. Yeah.
Do you ever think, might you get more involved in politics? Do you think about that?
I think not for the short term, no.
No.
For the short term, not. But I'm thinking about the future, maybe why not? Because I think I have this capacity to deal, to have also people around me and to have this strategy. But now I'm waiting for what will happen now in Tunisia. I'm more involved now in the civil society, more involved in entrepreneurship and to help other people, particularly young people. But politics is not easy way, but it will be in my mind.
Okay, good. Yeah. That's good to hear. Good for Tunisia, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Let's see, how are we doing? Are we? Well, maybe let's start wrapping up. So I guess the few last questions. Just what is it that some of the things that concern you about the world today? So what if you talking to our students and alumni, who have lots of energy and lots of concerns, what should we be working on collectively? A little bit what you talked about, entrepreneurship and youth. What also gives you hope for the future, maybe at the end? But,
I'm always optimistic because I think each of us has this, I mean, human thing in our mind, and we are thinking about others. I mean, if there is a problem, we are all together and we can find solution. It's very important. We are human before, and it's very important. And I discovered this, I mean, when I'm traveling a lot, I'm speaking with many people and different people from different, I mean, origins. But I think what is the link is this human thing. I mean, it's very important.
And it gives you hope.
Yes. And my hope is also how I hope that they will find something for this pandemic. I mean, because it's when we are used to travel and we're used to go outside, and we are it's a big problem. So we need, I mean, we need to feel more free,
and to connect with each other.
Yeah, it's very important. Even with our family. I mean, for me, I'm sad if I meet with my mother. I cannot. I mean, it's really for me. It's or my sons, because you know, particularly for my mother, because I'm afraid that she's an old woman, and this is it's not me.
No.
We cannot, I mean, have this distance between others, particularly with our family. So I hope they will find something, I mean, vaccine, something, so we can live more free, and we can we can feel that we are really, I mean, useful for. I mean, we are near our family, our I mean neighbors, and it's very important for me. For me, the contact, the direct contact, is very important.
It's where you take your energy.
Yes, yes, that's it. Yes,
yeah.
the right word. Yes, yes.
Very nice. Okay, any last messages for? So we have lots of future business leaders and you know, current leaders in our community. Anything you'd encourage them for? Yeah,
I think it's to be an entrepreneur or to be a leader is good, but we have to think about others. I mean, you have to think to work, I mean, on the social part. It's very important to think about others, to do something, I mean, like among foundations or some social actions to help others, to help vulnerable people, because it's very good and it's very important for us to earn money, to be, I mean, rich. But if we are rich and all our neighbors are poor, it's not good. So, and we have to change this mentality that the business community, they are selfish people and they don't think about others. Second, to succeed on business and to succeed on our life, is very important to be honest with ourselves, with others, and also to trust on our workers, on our staff, because we have to deal as a team, to work together as a team. And this social environment is very important, and it will allow us, I mean, to succeed in our business and to go forwards. And it's very important also to listen. Maybe you can have new ideas, new challenges with your, I mean, your team. So you have to think, to trust on your team and to work together. And the last thing is we have to, all of us, I mean, I'm always saying I'm an entrepreneur. I'm still entrepreneur, even I'm Nobel Peace Prize laureate, but I'm always an entrepreneur. We have to take this risk to change this environment and to do something, I mean, better for our way of life, to reduce, I mean, the poverty, to reduce the pollution, to respect the environment, to respect to help other, particularly, I mean, to help new entrepreneurs to have their companies, because it's very important to teach them how to become entrepreneurs and how to become, I mean, independent. Yeah.
We did. Thank you very much. We're going to run out of time, but thank you for coming to connect with us, to bring us your energy. And again, I think we're at a moment where business leaders are being called on to be a pillar of civil society. Yes. And I think you're just a fabulous role model for all of us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amsa.
Take care. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you, Vikram, for staying up late and being the voice of the students and alumni today.
Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.